Part 27. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 262. The Beauty Zhu first misunderstood Lin Feng, and then understood him and jumped into his arms. She was destined to have a better impression of Lin Feng than before, and the relationship between the two was destined to be a little closer. There was no kiss or touch in the hug, but the hug was very long. More than half an hour passed, and the two hot bodies were still hugging each other. Lin Feng did not take any further action, but his body was extraordinarily tall and straight. I wonder if Tian Qingzu's lower abdomen felt as tall and straight. The two fiery bodies moved slightly away. Tian Qingzu's delicate face was pink like a peach blossom. Lin Feng was sure that he would never forget Tian Qingzu's intoxicating color at this moment in his life. Beautiful and moving. This pure and shy beauty is washing Lin Feng's heart. Brother Feng. I want to overdo it. How do you want to go too far? Lin Feng smiled. Didn't you give me a dress? Why don't you give me two more casual clothes? Tian Qingzu said tenderly. I lost my temper at first, and now I started looking for Lin Feng to ask for clothes to wear. Lin Feng's heart was ecstatic at first, like a tsunami moving forward, but he soon became uneasy again. No problem, let alone 2 sets, 10 sets are no problem, I'll take you to buy them. Okay. Tian Qingzu happily walked out with Lin Feng. Xia Kaiki, who was crawling on the bed with her up, heard footsteps and Tian Qingzu's laughter. What was going on? In Xia Kaiki's fantasy just now, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu had already quarreled to the point where they could not get to grips with each other, but now, Tian Qingzu was actually laughing. Did the two of them do something ambiguous just now? Tian Qingzu is very comfortable, so he laughs. Xia Kaiki found that she was very innocent and a failure. It was really painful for a woman to fall in love with a man she shouldn't love. How can you be unhappy? Do you want to continue to suffer? Xia Kaiki began to question herself. At the bustling commercial street, Lin Feng bought Tian Qingzu 2 sets of tasteful casual clothes, a pair of sandals and a pair of sports shoes suitable for summer and autumn. Also bought her underwear and pajamas. Lin Feng spent more than 5,000 yuan for this, which was much more expensive than the dress last time. If it was before, Tian Qingzu would not be at ease, but now, she is smiling brightly. Perhaps her mood towards Lin Feng has changed a lot. Tian Qingzu didn't have any clothes before, but she still had a few pairs of pants. She is a girl who likes to be clean, and she often changed her pants, so she prepared a few more, but they were all ordinary ones. Wouldn't buy it if it's a bit high-end. She used to have a pair of trousers with holes, but the holes were not left on purpose for confidence, they were worn out. That part of her was very soft, but a hole was worn out in her panties, which showed that the pant had been worn for too long. Fortunately, the 3 roommates didn't see that pair of trousers with holes, otherwise the 3 of them would have laughed to death. Well now, she has very high-end pure cotton pants. It was given to her by Lin Feng, and that part of her will be more comfortable after wearing it. There are also pajamas. Wearing the pajamas sent by Lin Feng, her dreams will be more beautiful than before, less poverty, less cruelty, more beauty, and more romance. It's time for Tian Qingzu to go to Fengnan fashion store as a shopping guide. She's here, and she's not wearing that dress anymore. It's a new set of casual clothes. The color is not very bright, but the style is very good, it fits very well, and it perfectly shapes Tian Qingzu's graceful figure. Full and long legs. The style is fluttering, and the spring waves are rippling. Dinan's beautiful eyes were almost blinded again, staring at Tian Qingzu for almost a minute before he reacted. Oh Qingzu, yes, you have more and more good clothes. If you tell me that Lin Feng bought the suit for you, I will be very surprised and very happy. Dinan's buttocks twisted, smiling happily and talking non-stop. Tian Qingzu said, Sister Nan, let you guess right, This casual outfit was bought for me by Brother Feng, and he also bought it for me. Dinan said, "What did you buy? Wouldn't it be a sanitary napkin?" She didn't know if she was blaspheming Beauty Bamboo's innocence, but one thing was for sure, Beauty Bamboo usually used sanitary napkins, so she couldn't stop her period just because she was innocent. Tian Qingzu whispered, "Sister Nan, you are so annoying. How could I ask Brother Feng to buy me those things? Brother Feng bought me pajamas and underwear. Should be. Oh, do you think it should be? I'm so embarrassed." Tian Qingzu's face turned red again. How can I explain it so that Tian Qingzu feels that Lin Feng should give her pajamas and underwear? Tian Qingzu is not Lin Feng's girlfriend. No matter how she explains it, it doesn't make sense. Just when Dang Nan was thinking about it, a customer came in. Tian Qingzu was busy, and she was relieved. I hoped that when the customer left, Tian Qingzu would not continue this topic. "Qingzu, your outfit is so beautiful, who gave it to you?" "I bought it myself." "Are you rich? Earning from a job?" "You are really capable, you always work part-time, and your grades are still so good. I admire you, beautiful Bamboo." "No way, I don't have money at home, I can only make some money to supplement my living. If I'm as rich as you, I don't need to be so tired. Actually, I'm not very rich either. I heard that your monthly living expenses are only 5,000 yuan. That's true, but what's the use of 5,000 yuan? Money is always not enough to spend. I can't wait to ask my father who opened a factory to give me 30,000 yuan a month. I am saving money and plan to buy an entry-level Vacheron Constantine watch. But I haven't saved enough yet, my life is miserable. This girl is a little fat, and the girl who always fails to lose weight has to get shy after she is envious and jealous of Tian Qingzu. The conditions are already very good, but they are still complaining. Tian Qingzu did not envy her or resent her, but just listened to what she just said with a normal heart. The other girl thought that Tian Qingzu had lied just now. The clothes on Tian Qingzu's body, casual shirt, trousers, and sandals on his feet, added up to over 1,000. She was willing to spend so much money. It is expected that she will not make much money working in this small shop. It is estimated that Lin Feng bought it, that is, the ex-boyfriend of beautiful teacher Shang Yuna. Love is really not a thing, it will make people abandon one and choose another. Stupidity is really not a thing, it will make people feel comfortable and want to be stupefied. If a person only needs to love one person in his life, and he only needs to be in a bridal chamber once in his life, then life will be simplified a lot, but how is that possible? But in fact, Lin Feng didn't abandon Shang Yuna because of Tian Qingzu. His breakup with Shang Yuna had nothing to do with Tian Qingzu, and now he and Tian Qingzu are just ordinary friends. There has been a little ambiguity, but they are still ordinary friends. The two girls left after shopping, and Tian Qingzu walked to Dinan's side again. Dinan said in his heart, "Beauty Bamboo, don't continue the topic just now." Tian Qingzu has a good memory. She clearly remembers what she had just talked with Dinan, but she no longer wants to talk about the topic just now, otherwise Dinan will be embarrassed, and she will be even more embarrassed. Tian Qingzu said, "Did you see it? In fact, the fat girl just now didn't want to buy anything at all, but she still bought the most expensive bag in the store." Dinan said, "Of course I can see it. This is all your credit. You stimulated her, made her want to be shy in front of you, and made her want to show money like flowing water in front of you. So it is consumed." Tian Qingzu said, "Why are you so hypocritical? If it were me, I wouldn't buy it if I didn't want to." Dinan said, "So she can't become you, so you are beautiful Bamboo, she is not." Lin Feng didn't go anywhere that night, and he didn't even go to the store to take a look. He just bought something for Tian Qingzu, and he didn't want to be suspected of bragging. Lin Feng was typing in his master bedroom, typing quickly on the keyboard, in a very good mood, and at the same time he thought of Siakaiki's pain, but there was no way. The pain now is to avoid pain in the future. Today's turnover exceeded 2,000. Dainan was very satisfied. He sent Tian Qingze to the outside of the girls' dormitory building. After watching her walk in, Dainan returned to the partition room. Siakaiki was going crazy with hunger. Seeing the fried rice that Dainan brought back, her saliva was almost drooling. I rely on. Mom, this is too painful. It doesn't matter if your hurts. You can't even eat when it's time for dinner. It was after 11 o'clock in the evening that you brought me the rice. No, I'm going to apply for the record, and the most painful person in the world is me. Dainan said, stop being sloppy, eat quickly, and be careful to starve to death on the bed. She said in her heart, if you really apply for this record, you will definitely not be selected, because there are more people in this world suffering than you. Siakaiki crawled on the bed and finished eating the fried rice. She spit it out, and soon drank another bottle of Coke. She felt more comfortable in her stomach, but her buttocks still hurt. Let me take a look at your butt. Dainan wanted to see what Siakaiki's looked like now. You take it off for me. You just ate and didn't have the energy yet. Take it off for me. All right. Dainan could only take off Siakaiki's trousers, and then her trousers, and saw that the pieces of blue and purple on her buttocks had spread out, and the whole round buttocks had turned blue and purple, as if covered with birthmark. Dainan said in his heart, Lin Feng, your kid was really too cruel this time. You repaired her badly. It is estimated that Siakaiki will remember this pain for the rest of her life. Siakaiki said, can I still have my butt? Dainan said, I still want it, this is your butt, not someone else's. Siakaiki said, but my hurts, can you make my not hurt? Dainan said, I'll go ask. Siakaiki said, who are you asking? Ask my ass? Dainan said, you can't speak, it's useless for me to ask your ass. Siakaiki said, you're so annoying, don't scold me. Dainan walked out and knocked on the door of Lin Feng's room. Lin Feng stopped typing on the keyboard and walked over to open the door. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 263. As soon as Dainan walked in, Lin Feng jumped up and down, and kissed her beautiful face the moment he probed. It was really delicious. Dainan said angrily, why are you so excited? Let me ask you, why didn't you bring a copy to Kaiki when you had dinner? She was so hungry. Lin Feng said, you must have brought her food. Dainan said, I brought it, but I came back late. Lin Feng said, since you brought her food, you already guessed in advance that I would not buy food for her. I guessed it, but if you surprise me and buy fried rice for her, I'll be very happy. If it's time for dinner, I'll bring it to her. She doesn't know who she is anymore, and will treat herself as a wounded person who needs my care. If she doesn't eat a meal, she won't starve to death, so I didn't give it to her. Bring food. It's really painful to play hard. Don't offend you. Anyone who offends you will be unlucky. Dainan didn't dare to lift his slender legs too high, but just kicked Lin Feng's calf. Let me ask you, do you still have the trauma medicine that Li Xingguo gave you before? Have. Bring it, Dainan said. Doing what? What else can I do? For Kaiki, how long do you want her to hurt? Dainan said. I predicted that if she didn't use the very effective medicine, her would hurt for about 10 days. If she really used the trauma medicine that Xingguo sent me, then the pain would be gone for 2 days, so I can't use it for her, Lin Feng said. Will you give it or not? Dainan pinched Lin Feng's arm. Even if you leave a bruise on my arm, I won't. Screw you to death. Dinan pinched Lin Feng hard, and walked out with a helpless snort. Go back to her partition room. She said, it's really depressing, Lin Feng has run out of trauma medicine, or I should go out and buy it, there is a 24-hour pharmacy nearby. Xiakaiki said. No need to buy it, just let me hurt, this is the feeling that Lin Feng brought me, I have to enjoy it. I'd like to see, when my hurts, I'll remember that kid. Don't get into my hands in the future, or he will be killed. The effect came out. Xiakaiki even had the heart to kill Lin Feng, not ordinary hatred. However, Dinan felt that Lin Feng would not fall into Xiakaiki's hands under normal circumstances. After midnight, Lin Feng was still coding, and he had a feeling that he planned to code until 2 o'clock in the morning before going to bed. While coding, he also thought of Tian Qingzhu, thinking that it was not suitable for the two to be boyfriend and girlfriend. But now, Tian Qingzhu has a very different feeling for him, and it is not an exaggeration to say that Tian Qingzhu likes him. Dinan even hopes that he and Tian Qingzhu will get together, thinking that if he is concerned in Beijing, Tian Qingzhu is less likely to return to Qiaoshan town in Shu province. Lin Feng also hopes that Tian Qingzhu can stay in Beijing. Because this is fair to her, her parents have made a huge contribution, she doesn't need to continue, but he doesn't want to let her stay in this way, it's good to be good friends with each other. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Lin Feng yawned a lot when he stood up, he realized that his body was very tall and straight, and he didn't know how long he had been tall and straight. Is it because he thought of Tian Qingzhu, he was tall and straight? Could it be that he wanted to be friends with Tian Qingzhu at the same time? I have always had some kind of evil thoughts about this beautiful school flower of Beijing Normal University, and want to greedily enjoy her body. Beauty Bamboo's body is clean. Beauty Bamboo's body is sweet. Beauty Bamboo's physical charm is powerful. If it is to sleep with the beautiful bamboo, it will be very ecstasy. This is desire and evil. Lin Feng even had the heart to slap himself, but he quickly realized that he was a person who had lost love twice. If you still slap yourself, you're a little too sorry for yourself. At this time, Lin Feng's state needs a woman's body to let him vent. The more beautiful the woman, the better, the hotter the woman, the better, but at this moment there is no suitable woman for him to vent. Dinan and Xiakaiki sleep together, in the other room, very close to him, but neither of them could be his target. Lying on the bed, Lin Feng thought about the romantic things he had experienced before while smoking. He first thought of Bai Shan, then immediately thought of Lu Xiona and Shang Yunjuan, and then thought of Shang Yuna and Dinan. Some of them were women he had with, some that he had with many times, and some that he had never with, such as Dinan. Lin Feng and Dinan have a very good relationship. There have been a lot of ambiguities. Lin Feng has many times wanted to fall in love with Dinan, but Dinan doesn't want to have that kind of relationship with him. The best he can tolerate is to let him reach out. You can touch it in your panties, or you can take off your and touch it, but you can't be stunned. If the overlord is stupefied, it is not ruled out that Dinan will hate him, and then their friendship will change, so even if Lin Feng is extremely impulsive, he will not do it easily. If one day he and Dinan are really stupefied, and make stupor like drinking coke become the norm, then it must be on the premise of Dinan's willingness. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Lin Feng fell asleep, but what he dreamed of was not the woman mentioned above, but Wang Xiaoqian. He dreamed of Wang Xiaoqian, the school flower in junior high school. In the dream, he and Wang Xiaoqian went to the North Mountain of Shuiqing County. When he arrived at Wang Xiaoqian's body, he began to tear her clothes. The two hot bodies were joined together. He experienced Wang Xiaoqian's softness and warmth. He attacked very hard, and Wang Xiaoqian let out a wild shout. When Lin Feng was intoxicated in the spring dream, someone hummed in pain, that was Xiakaiki. Her buttocks hurt so much that she couldn't fall asleep even if she wanted to. In fact, She fell asleep for a few minutes just now, but when her body moved a little, her buttocks touched Dinan's hand. The intense pain hit her and woke her up instantly. Lin Feng, if you fall into my hands in the future, I will definitely punish you severely, even if you beg for mercy. Xiaka Iki repeated it several times in her heart, but her heart was still very unbalanced, and even her breathing became a lot heavier. If Xiaka Iki, who was injured in her buttocks, was not by her side, perhaps Dinan would have slept soundly. But now she was sleeping very lightly, and when she heard Xiaka Iki's heavy breathing, she was completely awake. Kaiki, are you uncomfortable? Aren't you talking nonsense? If your hurts like this, you'll be uncomfortable too. But you were breathing heavily just now, as if there was a man lying beside you. You really want to be warm with this man, but you just haven't had enough courage to ride on him and wriggle. You are reminding me to let me ride on Lin Feng's body all of a sudden, and before he could react to what was going on, he would wiggle up and down, sway his heart, and make him ecstasy. Let him be overjoyed? You misunderstood, I just made a joke with you just now, and it has nothing to do with Lin Feng. You know, I have never suggested that you play with Lin Feng. Now that Lin Feng has repaired you, you should stay away from him. Clicked. I won't pay attention to him in the future. I already hate him. I have never hated a person so strongly before. If he falls into my hands in the future, when I repair him severely, don't do it for him. Plead. Hearing Xiaka Iki mention this again, Dinan couldn't help but wonder, will there really be such a day? This possibility is simply too small. In order to make Xiaka Iki feel more comfortable, Dinan said with a smile, if Lin Feng really falls into your hands in the future, then you should repair him severely. I will not plead for him. Now, it's time for you to sleep. Let your heart calm down, you will soon be able to fall asleep, rest well. Your injury will heal a little faster. Xiaka Iki can't wait to make her feel better immediately. Stop hurting so much, let Dinan say this, she really wants to sleep. Maybe it was because she was too sleepy. It was just the pain that kept her from falling asleep. With the purpose of getting away from the pain early, she fell asleep quickly. Unfortunately, it was very late now and the sky was about to rise. Morning. It's still the same sun, the traffic is surging, and people's footsteps are very busy. Some people are running towards happiness, some people are running towards women, and some people are running aimlessly. Lin Feng didn't run wild. He was sitting on the sofa in the master bedroom smoking a cigarette. Dinan had already gone out at this point, and he probably arrived at the store early after eating, but what about Xiaka Iki? Did she go out with Dinan or stay in the partition room? Lin Feng hoped that Xiaka Iki had gone out. He didn't want to see Xiaka Iki in the corridor, which would make him very embarrassed. But Lin Feng wanted to go to the bathroom, so he could only go out. The door of the bathroom was closed, and there were people inside. When Lin Feng was about to leave, the door opened, and the person inside came out. It was Xiaka Iki. The moment Lin Feng turned his head, Xiaka Iki's eyes fell on his face. Come here, I have a few words to tell you, and I'll go out after that. After thinking for a while, Lin Feng went to Dinan's partition room with Xiaka Iki. He did not ask about Xiaka Iki's injury, but remained silent. Xiaka Iki originally wanted to punch Lin Feng's chest a few times, but she was afraid that Lin Feng would continue to repair her. She really wanted to repair Lin Feng severely, but only on the premise that Lin Feng fell into her hands. Now that Lin Feng has not fallen into her hands, he may repair her again at any time. You are terrible. You can think that I'm a terrible person. To other people, I may not be a perverted bastard, but to you, I may be a perverted bastard. I already hate you. Hate it? Also, if you really hate a person, it's best not to let this person know. It's like you want to fix a person. It's best not to let him know in advance, or you may lose your chance. Don't teach me a lesson, you don't have the qualifications, in short, I hate you, Sayakaike said coldly. Are you done? It's over, Sayakaike said. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 264. Lin Feng walked out with no expression on his face. Sayakaike left quickly, and there was no tendency for the pain in the to ease at all. I heard people say that the recovery of bodily functions is the fastest when falling asleep. In theory, the injury should have recovered a bit, but it still hurts so much. Walking on the road, Sayakaike tried her best to make her steps natural, but it was still very unnatural, and many people looked at her curiously, making her embarrassed and embarrassed. Asking Lin Feng to fix it is a shame. If there is a chance in the future, Sayakaike also wants Lin Feng to be ashamed and thrown home. She originally planned to go to the store to chat with Dainan for a while, but the curious eyes of passers-by made Sayakaike change her mind, and she planned to leave immediately. A taxi came over, Sayakaike stopped the car and got in. She screamed as soon as she sat down, "Ah, it hurts me." The driver was a man in his 50s, which made her startled, and immediately stopped the car to the side of the road, wondering, "What's wrong with you?" "It's all right, let's drive." "The sweat is coming out." "Are you sick?" "Shall I take you to the hospital?" the driver worried. "It's fine, I'm fine, you just drive, I'm going." Sayakaike said where she lives now, and the driver can only drive in that direction. It will be impossible to go to work in the next period of time. She can only ask for leave first. She plans to go to work at the Zara store over at Kuumau after her buttocks are no longer sore. Lin Feng watched a movie. It was a popular movie some time ago. Recently, the high-definition version has just been released on the internet. The effect is okay, and the movie is better. After arriving in Beijing, Lin Feng didn't go to the cinema very much, and when he got a chance, he planned to invite someone to watch a movie. It was almost noon. Lin Feng went out and sent a text message to Dainan first. Let her stop ordering food at noon, and then walk towards a nearby restaurant. Soon he saw a person who made him very angry. It was Chen Lufei, who had been encouraging Shang Yuna to break up with him. At the same time, Lin Feng also knew that even without Chen Lufei's provocation, he and Shang Yuna would also break up. It must not be the day of getting the certificate, but the speed of breaking up will not be so fast. Lin Feng didn't want to talk to Chen Lufei anymore, but this woman went too far. She actually walked over to Lin Feng, and the contemptuous smile on the corner of her mouth made him very uncomfortable. There was a cold smile on Lin Feng's mouth, and he planned to strike first. Seeing Chen Lufei approaching, he asked her, "Your husband Li He, is he still alive?" "What do you mean?" "If I love him, of course he lives very well. Unfortunately, you and Shang Yuna broke up. I'm afraid you have the heart to seek death." This woman's mouth is really powerful. Lin Feng originally wanted to preempt her and embarrass her a bit, but he didn't get any cheap. He said, "You think you love Li He very much, but in fact, you tortured him by taking him to death. It wasn't me who cursed you. You will not have a good outcome." Lin Feng was about to walk away, but was blocked by Chen Lufei. Chen Lufei said with disdain, "I know you are very depressed, I guess your psychology is a little abnormal, in this case. No matter what you say, it is not surprising, I am afraid you will never find Bai Shang Yuna in the future. A better girlfriend, your future girlfriend must be unbearable, but I have no sympathy for you at all, goodbye." Chen Lufei left. Look at the back of this woman. Lin Feng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He was a little hungry just now, but now he has no appetite at all. No wonder she was able to hold Li He. It seems that Chen Lufei is still a bit virtuous, her mouth is much more powerful than Shang Yuna. When I sat in the restaurant, I didn't eat much food, but I drank several bottles of beer. When Lin Feng walked into Fengnan fashion store with fried vegetables and rice, he saw Dinan's appearance full of resentment. Lin Feng said, "I'm sorry, my speed is a little slow, you are hungry." Dinan said that my stomach is hungry. If I ordered my own meal, I would have eaten it long ago. Look at you, patronize yourself, and drink, and forget that I am still waiting for your meal. Lin Feng felt more and more guilty, but he could only smile awkwardly. I'm not in a good mood, so I drank some. Seeing Lin Feng like this, Dinan felt a little sad, smiled and said, I just made a joke with you just now. In fact, I'm not very hungry. I sold it for nearly 800 yuan in the morning, and I'm busy with patrons. Keep me busy, and it's fine to go without food for 3 days. The more Dinan gave him face, the more guilt Lin Feng felt in his heart. What a wonderful woman, but unfortunately she couldn't become his girlfriend. Seeing Lin Feng so frustrated, Dinan said, Did Kaiki quarrel with you? Lin Feng said, Kaiki actually just said that she hated me, and left without arguing with me, but I was on the road. Let the woman Chen Lufei give her a serious contempt. Is it Yun Na's friend? It's her. Why does she despise you? Dinan said. Lin Feng told him and Chen Lufei the scene of the exchange of words on the road. Dinan was surprised, and soon laughed in relief. Actually, your mouth is powerful enough. Although it is not as powerful as your fists and kicks, it is sharp enough, especially when it comes to reasoning with others. What? Perhaps it was because of her mood that Chen Lufei had the upper hand, but she really me off, I even thought. What even thought? Take off her and her heart. You're right, I can't wait to have with her on the street, so that everyone passing by can see how I got into her, Lin Feng said. It doesn't seem to be desirable. You've been doing that for too long. I guess you can't erupt, and the siren will sound. You can't tell the police to wait first, right? Dinan laughed, and so did Lin Feng. After laughing, Lin Feng felt a little better and lit a chimney. The shop is closed at night, shall we go to the movies? Why do you want to go to the movies? I watched a popular movie on my computer in the morning, and suddenly I wanted to feel the atmosphere of the movie theater. Anyway, we haven't been to the movie theater for a long time. Let's go together, Lin Feng said. Dinan's heart is very hot, and she really wants to go to the movies. She would be more comfortable if she was accompanied by Lin Feng. But she quickly thought that such a good opportunity should be left to Lin Feng and Tian Qingzhu. I'm too lazy to go. In fact, I don't really like the atmosphere of the cinema, but someone must like it. Who? Beauty Bamboo. Why don't you ask her to go to the movies? If you're embarrassed, I can make an appointment for you. Given Beauty Bamboo's current state of mind, the possibility of rejection is very small. You have to strike while the iron is hot, Dinan laughed. When she heard the name Beauty Bamboo, what flashed in Lin Feng's mind was her pure and beautiful appearance. Beauty reaches a certain level. Kindness reaches a certain level. But Lin Feng always felt that he and the beautiful Bamboo are not suitable. It seems to be a good fit right now, but it may not be the case in the long run. He smiled and said, Actually, I don't mean that to Qingzhu, and it's not for that reason that I am good to her. You don't want to drag me and her together in the future. Dinan said, You are stupid. What a wonderful beauty Zhu, if she becomes your girlfriend. Many people will envy you, and you will let Shang Yuna see it. If you leave her, you will find it again. A beauty. It would definitely be a good thing to have a girlfriend of the level of Beauty Zhu. In this way, Shang Yuna would see his power, and at the same time, it would be like giving Chen Lufei a loud slap in the face. But he can't let the beautiful Bamboo be his girlfriend in order to achieve this effect. He smiled relievedly and said, "Do you think I'm looking for a girlfriend to make people envious of me? I'm looking for someone to marry. If it is possible, I want to get married next year. The idea is very real and very life." Dinan said, "It's up to you. Anyway, Beauty Bamboo already has that meaning for you. If you took the initiative to buy that dress, then the clothes after that, Beauty Bamboo took the initiative to ask you for it, in the style of Beauty Bamboo. If she hadn't fallen in love with a man and wanted to develop with this man, she would never ask him for clothes." Lin Feng also thought of this, which made him a little flustered, and now he can't predict how far he and the beautiful Bamboo will develop. Lin Feng said, "Life is always more complicated than imagined. It can only be seen one step at a time." Afternoon. When Lin Feng was lying on the bed, Shang Yuna and Chen Lufei were chatting in the woods of Beijing Normal University. Chen Lufei had already spoken out about how she had Lin Feng half to death on the way. Relish and a sense of accomplishment. "I almost got mad at that little broken writer who didn't know how high the sky is. It was really fun. Lufei, you are going too far. In fact, Lin Feng is not as bad as you think. He is a very talented person. He is indeed a talented man, and his future is limitless. You're not his girlfriend anymore. Is it interesting that you keep putting gold on his face? If he is really so good, why don't you continue to be his girlfriend? Why did you break up with him? Are you willing to give up such a good man?" "I broke up with him because I'm not suitable for him, and I can't control him. I want to find a man I can handle as my boyfriend. Then you will learn more from me in the future. Look at our family Li He, listen to me more. I let him stand, he won't dare to sit. I let him eat noodles, he won't dare to eat rice. Sometimes, even when I was doing that, I suddenly told him to stop. Even if he was about to spray, he had to stop." Chen Lufei said. Shang Yuna is already a woman who has been with Lin Feng many times. She understands what pleasure is like and how ecstatic it is to be enthusiastic, but after hearing what Chen Lufei said just now, she was still a little embarrassed. "He's about to squirt. You make him stop suddenly. Isn't he uncomfortable? You are torturing him. It takes less than 5 minutes to spray. It's like treating my mother's body as a waste bin. I have to make him stop so that he can last longer." It turns out that Li He's ability is not very good. What should I think of it? Shang Yuna laughed. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 265. Chen Lufei raised her fist and hit Shang Yuna's arm twice, struggling. "Li He's ability is not strong, it's true, I have done it 10 times with him, and one can reach an orgasm. That's great, but you should sympathize with me. Why are you making fun of me?" Shang Yuna said, "You seem to have said before that Li He's ability is not bad. You often enjoy 2 or 3 times of pleasure. Oh, I remember, that time we were together in my sister's graphic production center. Helped, and then you said that when you went to my house for dinner." Chen Lufei sighed and said, "I seem to have said, oh, you should just think I said that for the sake of face. The truth is what I just told you. What Chen Lufei said just now is true. She and Li He have done it 10 times, and it is true that she can at most once, and it must be under the premise of fantasy before she can achieve orgasm. The man who was pushing her was Li He, but the person she imagined could not be Li He, otherwise she would still not get pleasure. She might be imagining a male star, or she might have seen it on the road one day. Man. Chen Lufei has never betrayed Li He in reality, even if that kind of thing is very discordant. She has never messed with other men, but in fantasy, the man who cheated on her is rarely Li He. Sometimes she would think, how would she feel comfortable if a macho exercised against her for tens of minutes or even more than an hour? She'd be screaming and screaming, and her body would be writhing. When she thinks about it, she will think of finding another man to try it. This kind of idea arises again and again and makes her deny it again and again. In this way, even if Lee listens to Chen Lufiai's words, her marriage is not very happy. Marriage not only needs firewood, rice, oil, and salt, but also pleasure. Not only material, but also spiritual. If a man can only do that and won't make money, the woman will complain, "You bum, you are nothing but the bed. What else will be done? Look at whoever you are, they live in big houses and drive good cars." If a man only makes money and gets weak after bed, the woman will complain, "When will you find a doctor? You can't do that. I'm not comfortable at all, or I just don't say anything, go back to back when I sleep." And if a man wants to simply have fun, a woman will say, "Hate it. Don't touch me, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep." Lin Feng will make money. He is now a person with 1,000 words and 100 words. After a month, he has made more money than the two of us together. Lin Feng is also very strong in that aspect. It is not that I am showing off in front of you, I broke up with him, and there is no need to show off. I just tell you a real situation. When I was with him before, I often enjoyed more than 3 times of pleasure. Once, I had 6 times of pleasure, which made me feel good. Seeing that Chen Lufiai's face had changed, Shang Yuna stopped talking immediately, her red lips twisted and said, "Forget it. Let's stop talking, let's go out." Chen Lufiai obviously didn't have the time to despise Lin Feng. She walked out of the woods with Shang Yuna at a low pace. At the same time, she was also thinking, that kid Lin Feng. Is it really that fierce? Every time she can give Shang Yuna more than 3 times of pleasure, it's just a joke. Chen Lufiai had never been so happy before, so she couldn't believe that this situation was true. She quickly felt that maybe it wasn't a joke but the truth. If Lin Feng could have for dozens of minutes each time, it would really be possible to give Shang Yuna more than 3 times of pleasure. "Li He, when will you be able to become stronger? Don't you expect that you can persist for dozens of minutes every time, 10 minutes? If 10 minutes is not enough, how about 8 minutes? If 8 minutes is still difficult, can you not explain it in 5 minutes? That part of you, my lover, is also wet and longing for friction." With such a cry in her heart, Chen Lufiai's tears were about to flow out. At this moment, her discomfort far exceeded that of Lin Feng, who was despised by her. Because Lin Feng is not so uncomfortable now, he is lying on the bed and sleeping. It was after 3 o'clock when he woke up. Lin Feng jumped out of bed, went to the bathroom and washed his face, then turned on the computer and opened the pages of the book. The statistics of his novels are still improving rapidly, and the plots he wrote recently are very distinctive and have received rave reviews. The manuscript fee has been raised to 1,000 words and 100, but Lin Feng hopes that his manuscript fee can reach 2,000 words or 300. Even if it reaches 500,000 words, he is not too much. Do what you like to do and earn the money you should earn. This is life. Although there will be many unsatisfactory things in life, you should also think of things that make you happy when you are struggling. The mechanical keyboard of the green axis rang, and Lin Feng's coding speed is very fast. He plans to code 10,000 words this afternoon, and then code it at night, so that he can reach 15,000. According to his current manuscript fee, this way you can earn 15,000. When Lin Feng coded to 6,000 words and was looking back at the plot he had just coded, someone knocked on the door. The rhythm of knocking on the door is very familiar. Could it be her? Lin Feng opened the door, and it really was her. Looking at Shang Yuna's graceful look in a long dress, Lin Feng's smile was a little unnatural. "Why are you here? Isn't it your girlfriend, so I can't come over to see you?" I came here as the second landlord this time. Let's see if your kid smoked again and turned the walls of the master bedroom yellow. Shang Yuna wrote. The very light smile is very sweet, the very light aroma is very intoxicating. Lin Feng felt a warm feeling. He knew very well that Shang Yuna didn't come to see the wall this time, but to see him. Come in and sit. Even if you don't invite me in, I'll come in because I'm already here. After Shang Yuna sat on the sofa, her round buttocks became bigger, which made Lin Feng want to knead it, but now that Shang Yuna was no longer his girlfriend, he couldn't easily knead her buttocks unless Shang Yuna said to him, I don't know why, my is a little itchy, you rub it for me. Lin Feng sat beside Shang Yuna and didn't say a word until he finished smoking a cigarette. Shang Yuna spoke first and smiled, Lu Fei despised you, don't take it to heart, even my ex-girlfriend admits that you are a very talented person, then you must be a very talented person, you know, it's not easy for a man to get full affirmation from his ex-girlfriend. Indeed so. If a woman has broken up with a man, she will usually pick on the man's faults, unless she meets a more unbearable man, then she will think of the good of her ex. At this time, Shang Yuna has not met the next one, so her evaluation of Lin Feng is very pertinent. Lin Feng said, I really didn't expect that Lu Fei's mouth was so powerful. When she despised me, I didn't even have the ability to retaliate, but it's nothing, my adjustment ability is still very strong, I don't care anymore. Shang Yuna said that Lu Fei's mouth must be very powerful. She is a well-known knife mouth in the circle. She used to go to the bar to play and conflict with people. She just made a man with a thick gold chain around his neck to cry. Well, the man wanted to punch, but then walked away in tears. It can no longer be simply described as fierce, it is simply a unique wind burning. If you say this, I will be more balanced. At least I am not despised by her to the point of tears. It seems that Chen Lufei can hold Li He, which is very reasonable, Lin Feng said. Shang Yuna almost told about the discord between Chen Lufei and Li He, but she stopped the car in time, and couldn't tell others about Chen Lufei's privacy casually. I was just afraid that you were in a bad mood, so I came to see you. Now it seems that you are fine, you haven't dropped anything, and you are still typing. You still care about me so much. Don't get me wrong, I'm just an ordinary friend to you, and now even when I'm lying on the bed, I don't think about what we've done before, I've come out, and I hope you come out soon, Shang Yuna said. Lin Feng said, in fact, I walked out before you came out. Shang Yuna said, then your steps are fast enough, if I give you a ladder, it would probably take an hour to get from the earth to the moon, right? Lin Feng said, if your chest is a ladder, I hold your chest and climb up, from the earth to the moon, that is, a few minutes. His hand really fell on Shang Yuna's towering chest, as if she wanted Shang Yuna to take him to the moon, kneading it to the fullest. Lin Feng is eating her tofu. Lin Feng seems to be eating her tofu. Are you being eaten tofu by Lin Feng? From affirmation to doubt, and then to the sentence, Shang Yuna repeated a few words in her heart, and then she screamed, Lin Feng, you bastard, don't be a hooligan. Oh ah! Shang Yuna had to make such an intoxicated sound, because Lin Feng's hand had already reached through her neckline and touched her chest more intimately. Her eyes were flustered, her heart was beating wildly, she was wriggling and screaming, this was what Shang Yuna was in at this time. Lin Feng stroked for a few minutes, Shang Yuna tossed for a few minutes. When Lin Feng's hand was taken out from her neckline, Shang Yuna slapped her in the face. Lin Feng grabbed her wrist, kissed her face, and said with a smile, my ex, I couldn't help eating your tofu just now, please bear with me. What a bastard. You don't have to feel too guilty, because your next one has not come yet. You are free now, and you don't have to be responsible for anyone. What? You want to seduce me to do that? You are very strong, and it is very comfortable to be with you, but the old lady is not uncommon, let's go. Shang Yuna walked out angrily. She was afraid that Lin Feng would be too depressed, so she came to comfort him, but she didn't expect him to eat so much tofu and touch him. Lin Feng originally wanted to have dinner with Shang Yuna, not to save her, nor to say something to her during dinner, but to simply sit and have something with her. Since she left, that's fine. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 266. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Lin Feng arrived at Fengnan Fashion Store. Half an hour ago, Dainan told Tian Qingzi that Lin Feng wanted to go to the movies with you, but he was too embarrassed to ask you out, and he was struggling. Lin Feng didn't mean this at first. He just said that he wanted to go to the movies and wanted Dainan to go with him. In fact, Dainan wanted to go with him at the beginning, but he soon felt that he should leave the opportunity to Hishan. Green bamboo, so I don't want to go. From the look Tian Qingzi looked at him, Lin Feng knew what Dainan had said to Tian Qingzi, and completely misinterpreted what he meant. Lin Feng was a little embarrassed, smiled at Tian Qingzi, and then looked at Chao Dainan. How is today? Dainan said, it's very good. It's sold for 1,500 so far. Can you see luck if you can exceed 2,000? Oh, you and Qingzi can go to the movies. I'll do it in the store. Lin Feng was even more embarrassed than before. Tian Qingzi looked at Lin Feng's embarrassed face and couldn't help but pursed his lips and smiled. He said in his heart, Brother Feng, you are really interesting. I've done all kinds of things many times, and watching a movie with me makes you feel embarrassed to be like this. Tian Qingzi said, Sister Nan, I'll take care of the business with you in the store. Maybe Brother Feng will go back and code words later. What else could Lin Feng say, if he followed Tian Qingzi's meaning and said, I will go back and code in a while, then Tian Qingzi will definitely be very angry, and maybe even cry. It's romantic tonight. The sky is very clear tonight, the stars are twinkling on the black sky, and the lights on both sides of the street are brilliant. There is a market in the sky, and there is a market in the world. At this time, the market in Beijing is very lively. People with different abilities, different hobbies, enjoy different nightlife. Some people are squandering wealth, and some people are earning wealth. Some people are spoiling, some people are watching. What Lin Feng thought was that if he went to the cinema with the beautiful bamboo, he would be able to experience an extraordinary romance. This is easy to do, it just depends on whether he wants it or not. Lin Feng said. I'm not in a hurry to code, Qingzi, why don't we go to the movies? Tian Qingzi had never been to a movie theater before, but her 3 roommates, each of whom had been to a movie theater a few times, would comment with relish for a long time every time they came back. Talking about how powerful the widescreen and sound equipment in the cinema hall is, it feels completely different from watching movies on a TV and computer, and they will also talk about what a certain couple has done in front of a large audience. Tian Qingzi has always been envious, and has always wanted to experience what it's like to sit in a movie theater and watch a movie, but a movie ticket costs more than 100 yuan, which is almost her meal for a week. She was reluctant to spend the money. The opportunity is right in front of her, and her most admired brother Feng wants to accompany her to the movies. Tian Qingzi's heart is beating wildly, but he still smiles. Sister Nan, maybe the business will be very busy later, I'm afraid you will take care of it alone. But come on, I'll stay in the shop and work with you. Dainan said angrily, Qingzi, what's the matter with you? If you want to go, just go, you clearly want to go. Tian Qingzi was very shy. But she didn't quibble. She just wanted to go. If she continued to quibble, it would be a little hypocritical. She didn't want to be a hypocritical person, she wanted to be a real person. Brother Feng. Let's go to the movies then. Okay. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu went out together. There is a shopping mall a few kilometers away, and the fifth floor is a cinema and an animation game city, but Lin Feng didn't want to take Tian Qingzu there, because it was too close, so it was better to go to a cinema that was a little further away. Tian Qingzu didn't know where there was a movie theater. She said, "Where should we go?" Lin Feng said, "I will take you to a good one." Tian Qingzu said that the average price is fine. If it is a movie theater with very good conditions, the ticket price will be higher, right? Lin Feng said that there is no problem with the high ticket price, what is needed is an effect. In fact, the conditions of the nearby one are very good. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu both sat in the back row of the taxi. They were very close to each other. Lin Feng could clearly smell the light fragrance emanating from Tian Qingzu's body. Lin Feng quickly put away his evil thoughts and stopped thinking about the taste of Tian Qingzu's body, but Tian Qingzu has been stimulating him, making the hormones in his body increase rapidly, but he can't take out the hormones in his body. Throw it on the street. When Lin Feng looked at the scenery through the car window, Tian Qingzu's soft body leaned over and felt a soft and warm body. Lin Feng looked back at Tian Qingzu and saw a beautiful and shy face. Beautiful to the extreme. That peach-like shyness is very seductive. Lin Feng then hugged Tian Qingzu's waist, very textured, making the softness more real. Tian Qingzu's breathing was very uneven, and Lin Feng could clearly see the ups and downs of her chest. If he and Tian Qingzu were more ambiguous, he would be suspected of bullying the taxi driver. After all, the driver was a young man in his 30s, and he was very impulsive. In fact, the driver was stimulated when the two of them first got in the car, and he had already shouted many times in his heart, "What a beautiful girl, why is that face so beautiful, why is that body so graceful, there is no flaw at all, so beautiful picky." While the driver found Tian Qingzu very beautiful, he didn't find anything special about Lin Feng. In the driver's eyes, Lin Feng was a very ordinary person. "I just think this person is blessed to be able to sit in a taxi with such a superb beauty." The movie theater Lin Feng chose was more than 10 kilometers away, and it didn't take long. After arriving, he and Tian Qingzu got out of the car. Lin Feng began to complain in his heart, "Damn, why was there no traffic jam just now, otherwise he and Tian Qingzu could sit in the car for a while longer." Lin Feng quickly felt that traffic jams are not a good thing. The environment in the taxi is very general, and it is not much fun to sit in it. It is not fun to sit in the movie theater. This cinema is also connected to the anime game city, and it has a very high-end and luxurious atmosphere. There are 3 movies being shown, one is an American blockbuster, the other 2 are domestic films, one is an action movie, and the other is an urban life movie with a few ambiguous scenes. Lin Feng has seen the introduction of this urban life film on the internet. The plot is very in line with the life of young people in modern cities. Among them, several ambiguous classics have been complained by many netizens. But Tian Qingzu didn't know about this situation, and she didn't see any ambiguous scenes from the movie's promotional posters and the LCD screen excerpts in the ticket hall. Lin Feng said, "Which one do you want to watch?" Tian Qingzu said, "Whichever you want to watch, I will follow you to watch it." Lin Feng said, "Let's just watch this urban life movie. The action movie may be a little bloody." Tian Qingzu happily agreed, and called out sweetly, "Okay." In fact, Lin Feng felt a little regretful after analyzing these 3 films for Tian Qingzu. He felt that it was more appropriate to watch that action film, but he could not change his words now, otherwise the beautiful bamboo might get angry and ridicule him. After waiting for half an hour to enter the venue, Lin Feng bought popcorn and coke, and went shopping with Tian Qingzu. Walking by Lin Feng's side, Tian Qingzu wanted to hold his arm like other couples, but she was not Lin Feng's girlfriend, so she was embarrassed to do so in front of so many people. Tian Qingzu said that the decoration here is so good, it must cost a lot of money to open a movie theater. Lin Feng said, "That's for sure, ordinary people can't afford it." Tian Qingzu said, Brother Feng, when you become rich in the future, open a movie theater, so that when I want to watch a movie, you can send me a ticket. Lin Feng laughed. Tian Qingzu's dreamy proposal just now made him laugh happily. No problem. After a few years, I'll open a movie theater. You can get tickets whenever you want to see a movie. Brother Feng, you are so good at making me happy. Brother Feng is not coaxing you, Brother Feng really wants you to be happy. Brother Feng, you are so kind. Tian Qingzu's voice was very soft, her eyes were a little wet, and she said in her heart, Brother Feng, when you open the cinema, I don't know where I am. I haven't decided yet whether to stay in Beijing or go back to Quashan town in Shu province after graduation. If I go back, I won't be able to watch movies with you. The beautiful bamboo finally cried. Her tears were crystal clear like spring water. Qingzu, don't cry. Brother Feng, I don't cry. But Tian Qingzu's tears are still flowing freely. Lin Feng can't imagine what Tian Qingzu's heart is already entangled. Qingzu, look at the animation game city over there, go and have a look. Aren't you going? Do you want to play? Don't play, just go and see, come on, Lin Feng said. Okay. Everything here is new to Tian Qingzu. She walked into the animation game city with Lin Feng's footsteps. The place is very large, with more than 1,000 square meters. Various large game consoles are distributed and arranged. Many people are playing. All kinds of noises are mixed together, and the luxury is somewhat blurred. If you've never walked in and stood on the street, you wouldn't know what's going on here. Tian Qingzu looked around for a long time with curious eyes, and then asked Lin Feng, have you played before? Lin Feng said, I used to play with my friends when I was in college, but I haven't played since I arrived in Beijing. Do you want to play? If you want to play, let's go play the racing over there. Tian Qingzu said, if I don't play, I won't. In fact, Lin Feng is not very good at playing. If he insists on letting Tian Qingzu play together, he will be embarrassed. Just when Lin Feng was thinking about whether to play or not, two very bad men came over. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to M to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Mobile users, please go to M to read. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 267. At this time, the two very bad men had already walked in front of Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu. One of them is in his 30s, about 180 feet tall, burly and strong, with a weird hairstyle, like a pineapple but not very much. The half-sleeved floral shirt failed to block the sharp sword tattooed on his right arm, and the old cowboy had a few holes. There is a bit of domineering in the ruffian. The other is in his 20s, he is not tall but strong, with a black hooded sleeved shirt and black trousers, his eyes are fierce and evil, and he looks like he is looking for trouble at any time. Tian Qingzu would be afraid when she saw a man who was not a good man. The two men were obviously malicious, and they scared her even more. If she knew that she would meet such two people, she would not come in, but now she has come in and she has already met. Arrive. The burly man with strange hair swept his greedy eyes from Tian Qingzu's beautiful face, and said with a smile, Beauty, do you want to play games? Brother, let's play with you. Brother is a player by nature, and he is the best at playing. Which machine do you want to play with? Choose whatever you want, brother can have fun. If you don't want to play here and want to go out with brother, brother will be happier. Tian Qingzu was very frightened and hid behind Lin Feng without saying anything. Gradually, Lin Feng's eyes became colder. This time I came here to enjoy romance with Tian Qingzu. Lin Feng never thought of hitting someone. But it's nothing, hitting someone is easy for him, as long as his fist is thrown out, as long as his leg is kicked out, it will make the person who finds fault very painful. At this time, although Lin Feng's eyes were a little colder, his face was very calm, and he didn't look like he was about to start immediately. The burly monster stared at Lin Feng's face with disdain for almost a minute, and said coldly, "Boy, can you play? If you can't play, don't bring beautiful women to such a place casually. Look at your bear-like appearance, you bastard." 1. Lin Feng sneered and said, "Then you say, am I a bear or a bumpkin? The difference between a bear and a bumpkin is too big. The bear is very ferocious. The bumpkin can be pinched by you. Any such explanation?" The burly and strange-haired man had never heard of it before, and this seemingly uncharacteristic boy was too daring to talk back to him. It is estimated that the beauties around him inspired his courage, so he made him brave. Normally, this kind of bravery is exchanged for a beating. Not every has a good end. Some flower guardians will be beaten to death, and then the flowers around them will be broken by others. The burly and strange-haired man has already made a ruthless attempt to beat up the boy beside the beauty, and let him taste the taste of being a flower protector in the blood. The people who were still playing the game just now gathered around to watch the fun, and when they heard Lin Feng's divine reply, they instantly burst into laughter. The noise of the discussion is getting louder and louder. "This kid is very interesting," he actually said that. "I just don't know if the fight is serious or not. I don't think he will be the opponent of that macho. This kid is probably going to be beaten, and it's true. Why didn't the beautiful woman beside him call the police?" When he heard someone mentioned calling the police, the burly and strange-haired man immediately glanced back. His eyes were fierce. The surroundings were instantly quiet, and the people watching the excitement took 2 steps back involuntarily. In this way, there is more space left for Lin Feng and the burly and strange-haired man. The burly and strange-haired man said, "Are you her boyfriend?" Lin Feng said, "I am her boyfriend, this beauty, she is my woman, do you have any opinion?" Lin Feng's answer was very free and easy, and he didn't feel any fear at all. The people watching the fun all admired this kid. You may be beaten badly at any time, but you can still be so free and easy, which can be described as a talent. In this case, Tian Qingzu will never explain that he is not my boyfriend but an ordinary friend. She has been frightened. Her body was shaking. The burly and strange-haired man said, "Give me a face, let your girlfriend play with me, let my brother be happy, then let you go, otherwise I will bleed your kid." Women are nothing compared to their own lives. If you lose a woman, you can find it again, but if you lose your life, it's over. Lin Feng said, "What are you, why should I give you face? Since you know that if you lose your life, it's over, you shouldn't trouble me. I rely on." Enough. The black-clad young man standing next to the burly and strange-haired man became angry first, scolded, and punched Lin Feng's face. Looking at his fierce appearance, he wanted to break Lin Feng's nose with a punch. This kid is ruthless. It seems that he used to beat people a lot. If it is an ordinary person, it is really difficult to avoid his violent punch. A punch in the face is expected to bleed all over the face. It's a pity that he met Lin Feng, and it was difficult for his fist to hit Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng quickly grabbed his wrist and twisted it hard. The boy screamed in agony with an unusually ugly expression. Lin Feng's knee was lifted instantly and pressed against his stomach. The moment he let go, he was slapped in the face again. The guy spun and flew up, rushing towards the crowd of onlookers. Exclamations from the crowd erupted and dissipated instantly, and the boy fell to the ground, blood spurted out of his nostrils, and howled in pain. Will Kung Fu? It seems that he really knows Kung Fu, and he shoots really fast. This beauty's boyfriend is fierce enough. No wonder it's so convincing. It's a misunderstanding. The person who thought he should be beaten is very sturdy, and the person who thought he was sturdy is very sad. There is a good show to watch. These two people are not easy to mess with. Maybe they are people who are on the road. Lin Feng can also see that these two domineering guys are mostly people on the road, but at the level of the two of them, they will definitely not be the big players on the road, that is, the kind of people who are used as spearmen. This kind of person bows and knees in front of the boss, but is very arrogant in front of people outside. If he encounters a ruthless character, he will be unlucky. Lin Feng was staring at the burly and strange-haired man's face, and began to think about what to make of this guy. His principle was to avoid trouble, just let it go, and then accompany the beautiful bamboo to the movies. Lin Feng didn't want the beautiful bamboo to see blood, and wanted her to see more beautiful things. But Beauty Bamboo still saw blood, and Lin Feng saw Beauty Bamboo's body trembling. Although the trouble was caused by Beauty Bamboo, Lin Feng was still a little guilty. The burly and strange-haired man was also staring at Lin Feng's face, and his brows were already lightly wrinkled. "Brother, have you practiced?" "I haven't practiced much, but I encountered something that doesn't have long eyes, and it was a little bit fierce to repair." Lin Feng has practiced kung fu for many years, and the dragon and snake legs are very sturdy, and then mixed with the classic moves of Sanda, it is simply sturdy to the extreme. He said this is undoubtedly a bit too modest. His interesting words quickly attracted a burst of laughter from the onlookers, and the burly and strange-haired man's face was even more ugly than before. "Good boy, if I don't give you some blood today, I'm not a scumbag." Lin Feng couldn't understand a little, whether it was the burly and strange-haired man's nickname called Spicy Stubble, or whether the burly and strange-haired man said he was a hot stubble. The so-called Spicy Stubble is a very difficult character, and this burly and strange-haired man is indeed not easy to mess with, but it's nothing. Since he can't escape, then he will be beaten. A few people who looked like security guards were watching, and everyone else around was waiting to watch the show. The confrontation between Lin Feng and the burly and strange-haired man was more attractive than various large game consoles. The burly and strange-haired man screamed, and kicked Lin Feng out of his legs. It was fast and fierce, but the heat was still not in place. He kicked out several times in a row, and the people around were dazzled. Failed to kick Lin Feng. While Lin Feng was protecting Tian Qingzu, he could dodge with ease. Seeing that the burly and strange-haired man kicked over again, the moment Lin Feng avoided him, he punched him in the face. Hearing a bang, Lin Feng's fist landed on his face, and blood dripped from the corner of the burly and strange-haired man's mouth. Just as he was about to fight back, Lin Feng slammed a few more punches, all of which hit him in the face. The burly and strange-haired man had blood all over his face. After a few tremors, he stumbled a few steps and almost fell to the ground. If he stopped just now, Lin Feng would not plan to fight. He wanted to take Tian Qingzu out of here immediately, and then go to the movies. The purpose of coming here this time is to watch a movie, and Lin Feng did not want to leave after repairing the two. "Ow!" The burly and strange-haired man screamed again, and he rushed over again with blood all over his face. It seems that this guy is a person who can't lose face, and he wants to turn the situation around on the spot. Lin Feng kicked out with a swipe, and the burly and strange-haired man who was rushing forward flew up in an instant, and fell a few meters away and stopped moving. Lin Feng smiled at Tian Qingzu and said, "Let's go." "Oh!" Tian Qingzu's heart was beating wildly. Although Lin Feng had already knocked down the two troublemakers, she still couldn't believe it was true. Why did she get into trouble when she got to the cinema, and why did she always get into trouble? Why don't other moviegoers encounter anything? There was a lot of discussion behind them, and those who were enjoying the game were already stunned by the fight just now. Too fierce. Really good at kung fu. This is not a kung fu embroidery, but a very good kung fu. This is the first time I have seen a character who hits people so neatly. It would be nice if I could be friends with him. You can seduce him, maybe he is willing to open a room with you. He is very good on the ground, and it is estimated that he will be very good in bed. The two of you will become friends when you are comfortable. I really want to seduce him, but unfortunately, I am not as beautiful as the girl next to him. Even if I posted it cheekily, I would only be despised by him. The one who was very interested in Lin Feng was a tall and plump girl. She seemed to be around 20 years old. She was dressed in non-mainstream clothes. Although her appearance was average, her whole body looked very trustworthy. At this time, she has already started to think, if this man with a lot of kung fu is willing to play with her, even if he gives him tens of thousands of yuan a month, it will be no problem. The game is just a thrill, and it's good to have fun. The fear is that this kid is not for money. If you move, you will despise her severely. Lin Feng said, we've already started to enter, let's go over. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 268. Tian Qingzu said that the two people who were beaten just now will definitely not let it go. Maybe they will call the police, maybe they will send rescue soldiers. Let's get out of here quickly. Lin Feng said, since you're here and you've bought the tickets, you can go after reading it. With me by your side, there's nothing to be afraid of. Tian Qingzu said, but I'm really scared. Why don't I come back another day? I'll invite you next time. Lin Feng said that it's not a question of who invites who, since he's here, he has to read it before leaving. You. Tian Qingzu felt that Lin Feng was a little too domineering at this time. If such a big thing happened, people who were looking for trouble could come over at any time, but he had to finish watching the movie before leaving. What exactly? Tian Qingzu thought about it for a moment, then smiled relievedly. Brother Feng, I believe you, I'll be by your side, I'll leave whenever you want. The decision made by Beauty Bamboo made Lin Feng very happy. He didn't say mad words such as the letter Feng Ge get immortal life, but he was very confident to protect the safety of Beauty Bamboo. Lin Feng can be sure that the two guys who were beaten just now will not call the police. It is estimated that people will be called over. It is difficult to predict who will be called and how many people will be called. Lin Feng has already thought about it. Since there is a beautiful bamboo by his side, he will slam it once. If people block people after watching the movie, then he will fight in the dark, and use his sturdy dragon and snake legs to kick one out to get a taxi. Car on the way. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu sat in the theater's projection hall. The environment was very good. The movie had not yet officially started. At this time, several alternating advertisements were playing on the wide screen. The picture was very clear and the sound effect was shocking. Tian Qingzu's heart was very flustered. Sitting next to Lin Feng, he could smell a very unique man. There is a light smoke smell in it. What Lin Feng smelled was the light fragrance emanating from Beauty Bamboo's skin. It was a very clean and ecstatic fragrance for men. Beauty Bamboo's body is clean. Beauty Bamboo's heart is also clean. The beautiful bamboo made Lin Feng's heart unbearable. Tian Qingzu asked curiously, when will it open? Lin Feng said, there are still 3 minutes. Tian Qingzu said, the effect is really good. Lin Feng said, wait for the movie to start. The effect will be better. Tian Qingzu said, but, I don't know what we will face after the movie is over. Lin Feng said that facing the brightly lit night, the street where traffic and people flowed together. Tian Qingzu said in a heart. It seems very romantic, but that's not what I'm talking about. You don't seem to be worried at all. The movie is on. The effect is indeed better and more shocking than before. Lin Feng didn't put his arms around Beauty Bamboo, but he moved his mouth close to Beauty Bamboo's ear and said, don't worry about anything, just watch the movie with your heart. If I can bring you here, I can take you away safely. Tian Qingzu was very moved, because she also caused the trouble this time. She believed that if Lin Feng came alone, those two guys would definitely not trouble Lin Feng. I really want to apologize to Lin Feng, but now doesn't seem to be the time. Tian Qing's eyes were locked on the wide screen. She was soon integrated into the plot of the film, with a light smile on the corner of her mouth, and she had begun to enjoy the happiness the film brought her. At the same time, she also thought that coming to the cinema to watch a movie is really a wonderful enjoyment, if a movie ticket is 5 yuan apiece. But how is it possible? Such a high-end movie theater has high investment and high operating costs, and the ticket price is definitely not much cheaper. Watching a game of more than 100 yuan is a drizzle to some people, and it is very distressing to some people. If Lin Feng just arrived in Beijing, when his coding career has not improved, he is reluctant to spend money to go to the cinema to watch movies, and even more reluctant to invite people to watch movies. At that time, when he invited his good friend Wang Wei to dinner, he kept asking for anything. Fortunately, Wang Wei knew that he was a generous person, but the money in his pocket was limited. Can't get enough of money. The situation is different now. Lin Feng not only has a deposit of more than 1 million, but even his manuscript fee has been mentioned as 1,000 words and 100 words. His income from code words is higher than that of middle-level companies in some large companies. Even if he was willing to invite Tian Qingzi to watch the movie ticket for 500 yuan a week, and there was no problem with watching it once a week. Lin Feng looked very relaxed, but he also had to consider what he might face after the movie. When he and Tian Qingzi walked out of the theater, they would most likely be blocked by a group of people. Lin Feng felt a softness, because Tian Qingzi leaned against him, the warmth poured into his body like a warm current, and then slowly spread out, making every part of him very comfortable, although there was no friction, but that thing of him was relieved. Is there anything more wonderful than this? This wonderful taste was brought to him by Bamboo, a beautiful girl who came out of a small mountain village in Shu province. Beauty Bamboo is a village girl and the beautiful school flower of Beijing Normal University. She is a legendary girl. Lin Feng then put his arms around the waist of the beautiful Bamboo, and the two bodies pressed closer together. At the same time, the widescreen scene was also ambiguous. The male and female protagonists were already hugging and kissing. Is kissing wonderful? This is Tian Qingzi's most sincere thought at this time. She has never kissed a man before, and she doesn't know what kissing is like. People who are in love usually kiss, and when she starts falling in love, she will also kiss that him, but she hasn't started falling in love. Who will he be? Could it be Lin Feng? Thinking of this, Tian Qingzi's heart became even warmer. Not all couples were sitting in the screening room, some were 3 or 5 friends who came together, and some came alone. Because the plot is very ambiguous, all the couples sitting in the screening hall are ambiguous. On the seats less than 3 meters away from Lin Feng and Tian Qingzi, a couple kissed passionately. Lin Feng noticed it. Tian Qingzi also noticed. Lin Feng showed a light smile, and did not deliberately look at the couple who were kissing wildly. Tian Qingzi looked embarrassed, his eyes were a little erratic, and he thought, no, even if he wanted to kiss. Waiting for the time to be alone. Lin Feng's hand wrapped around Tian Qingzi's soft waist, and fell on Tian Qingzi's thigh in a half circle. The soft and elastic thigh of the beautiful Bamboo brought a wonderful enjoyment to Lin Feng. Just touching Tian Qingzi's thigh through his pants was enough to stimulate Lin Feng. Tian Qingzi's face was even redder than before, in her conception. A woman's thigh is a more ambiguous place than her waist. At this time, Lin Feng's hand was very close to Tian Qingzi's trousers. Although Beauty Bamboo was wearing pants, Lin Feng still imagined another kind of spring. If Beauty Bamboo took off her pants, what would her slender legs look like? Wonderful, at this time the beautiful Bamboo must be wearing the shorts he gave. Lin Feng quickly took back his fantasy. It was integrated into the plot of the movie again, but Tian Qingzi was not as involved as when he first started watching it, because Lin Feng's hand was stroking her thigh. Until the end of the movie, Lin Feng's hand was on Tian Qingzi's thigh, the cinema staff walked in, and the lights in the projection hall turned on. People started to exit in an orderly manner, but Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu were still sitting on the seats, and Lin Feng's hand was still on Tian Qingzu's thigh. Tian Qingzu didn't grab Lin Feng's hand and put it aside. She whispered, "Brother Feng, we should go too." Lin Feng smiled slightly, then got up and walked out with Tian Qingzu. What should come is coming. What to face is about to face. Soon to be out of the building where the theater is located, Tian Qingzu worried, "Will someone trouble us?" Lin Feng said, "It is estimated that it will be." Tian Qingzu said, "Is there any other export?" Lin Feng said, "Don't be afraid, as long as I am by your side, no one will hurt you." Tian Qingzu said, "But I am afraid that you will be hurt." Lin Feng said, "I am not afraid that I will be hurt. What are you afraid of?" Indeed, something happened. The burly man with strange hair may have been injured too badly to come over. But the guy in the black shirt came over, and then went to see the person who came out for them, and Lin Feng smiled. Beijing is very big, and Beijing is also very small. Lin Feng actually saw Baiman beside He Rose. At this time, Baiman was fully dressed. Originally, he held his chest with both hands, his slender legs were slightly apart, and he stood there arrogantly, with more than a dozen very strong men behind him. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Baiman was surprised. She first glanced at the girl beside Lin Feng, and said to herself, "She is a superb beauty, how can this kind of beauty be so clean?" Baiman said, "Is he the one who beat you and Spicy Stubble?" "It's him." "No wonder it's amazing." Baiman walked over with graceful steps, smiled and said, "Lin Feng, I'm in high spirits, I'll take you to a movie with a beautiful woman." Lin Feng said with a smile, "What a coincidence, I didn't expect that the person who hit the beauties around me was the subordinate of Sister He." Baiman said, "The two of them are indeed under Sister He. They are both thugs, but if they fall into your hands, even the thugs under Sister He will be beaten." Lin Feng has not been disturbed by Black Rose for a while this time. Black Rose was provoked again, which made him very uncomfortable. If it is said that he is not afraid of Black Rose at all, it is impossible, because it is very troublesome to offend Black Rose. If it is not done well, his coding business will not be able to continue. Some people don't say that his kung fu is high enough to deal with. Lin Feng knows very well that if he really fights with He Rose, he is not an opponent. If He Rose wants his life, there are ways. Therefore, Lin Feng's principle in dealing with Black Rose is to try not to provoke her, but she can't let everything depend on her temperament. At this time, Baiman was obviously resentful towards him. Lin Feng said, "If you want these people to fight me, I will accompany them. If it can be resolved peacefully, then I will go to Sister He to apologize. Baimandeo, I won't let them fight you, because the result of their fight with you is that your arms and legs are broken by you, and they will not be your opponents when they join forces, and I will not fight you personally. Hit, because forget it, let's not talk about it, you go with this beauty first, and I will tell Sister He when I go back. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point. To vote for recommended votes and monthly tickets, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 269. Lin Feng finally breathed a sigh of relief. At least he didn't have to start fighting immediately, otherwise the beautiful bamboo would see bloodstains again, and tomorrow, he planned to go to the Menfei Yang disco to see Black Rose. I hope by that time, Black Rose don't make things too difficult for him. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu got into the taxi. Tian Qingzu leaned on Lin Feng's body, crystal tears flowed out, and soon a choke sound came out. Lin Feng could only keep persuading her not to cry, but it was just a small matter that would be resolved smoothly. The taxi driver was very curious and didn't know what was going on, but he didn't ask any questions. Even a warm-hearted person couldn't handle some things. All he could do was drive carefully and deliver the young man and woman to their destination safely. The young man in black shirt that was beaten by Lin Feng was very surprised, and asked Baiman several times in a row, "Sister Bai, can that kid Lin Feng really take care of all the people who brought you here by himself?" Baiman's answer was that Lin Feng was very easy to clean up us. Within 3 minutes, we all fell to the ground. His leg skills were extremely domineering. Both are crippled even if they don't die. When Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu got off the bus at the gate of Beijing Normal University, the Fengnan fashion store was closed for business today. As early as 20 minutes ago, Dainan closed the roller shutter and left. When she was comforting Tian Qingzu in the back row of the taxi just now, Lin Feng's hand was always around her waist. At this time, when they were walking on the road, their bodies were separated by a certain distance, but Lin Feng could still vaguely feel that kind of heat from Bamboo's body. Tian Qingzu was already moved by Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't want to be tempted by Tian Qingzu, but he was clearly a little tempted now, and he suddenly wanted to listen to that kind of soft song. Lin Feng is a very person, but when he was in love with Shen Bingqian in college, he also often listens to the songs of Zhang Zins and Xiang Tianping. While lying on the bed in the dormitory listening to songs of various flavors, he reminisces about romance and ambiguity, as if the word youth is constantly being amplified. When I think about it, it's a good memory. Although he and Shen Bingqian have broken up, he is no longer who he was, and Shen Bingqian is not the same Shen Bingqian. Qingzu, I'll take you back to the dormitory. Okay. Don't think about what happened in the movie theater, but you can recall the feeling of watching the movie, Lin Feng said. You kid touched my leg. At this time, what Tian Qingzu said was your boy, not Feng Jie. Quite a bit of a complaint. Lin Feng smiled awkwardly. It was very atmosphere at the time. I don't know how to do it. I put my hand on your thigh. If you think I ate your tofu, I apologize to you. You just ate my tofu. I won't let anyone touch my thighs, even if I'm wearing pants. But, I don't want you to apologize. The problem is out. Since I didn't want Lin Feng to apologize, I was willing to let her touch it. Lin Feng felt both joy and anxiety in his heart. Could the relationship between him and the beautiful Bamboo really progress? Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu walked slowly on the campus of Beijing Normal University, without any ambiguous movements, and occasionally chatted a few words, but this also attracted the attention of many people. From time to time there will be a few words of discussion. Look, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu are together again. It seems that the two of them really got together, and they have developed into this. The relationship between teacher Shang and the beautiful Bamboo is still so good, it's a miracle. It is estimated that Qingzu is not a third party, and it is estimated that Qingzu only got on with Lin Feng after teacher Lin Feng broke up. What's so good about this kid Lin Feng? Why do such superb beauties like teacher Shang and Qingzu like him? Will be kung fu, have literary talent. But is he rich? A very unhappy boy asked a very crucial question, that is Lin Feng a very rich person? Living in a bustling metropolis, how far can a person be at ease? Depends on how much money he has in his pocket. If a man does not have much money, it will be difficult to meet the material needs of the women around him. Women like material things very much, and there are very few women who are not envious of anything good. It can be said that Shen Bingqian and Shang Yuna are very material girls, they are very kind. But they are also very material. After experiencing 2 broken loves, Lin Feng is more certain that it is not wrong for women to like material things. In fact, men also like material things very much. After being rich, it is almost inevitable to live in a luxury house and drive a luxury car. It's not that there are no men with cheap clothes, but there are too few. Lin Feng had thought many times before, if one day he became rich, with tens of millions or even hundreds of millions, what kind of life would he live? Although he didn't have that much money before, and he doesn't have that much money now, He has a clear mind on this issue. After he is rich, he will live a very rich life. A luxury house is a must, a luxury car is a must, and a beautiful woman is a must, because he is a man, and he wants to live his life in vain. Tian Qingzhu is an exception. She is very delicate and pure. Her beauty has brought beauty to the entire Beijing Normal University, but she is not a material girl. She has never enjoyed a luxurious life, and has never pursued luxurious things. In a bustling metropolis, she is surrounded by people who compare, but she is still very indifferent. What would it be like to be with such a girl? Thinking of this question, Lin Feng's head will be dizzy. When he sat on the sofa in the master bedroom, he still hadn't thought about this problem clearly, and maybe after a while, he wouldn't think clearly. After taking off his clothes, Lin Feng put on a pair of knee-length shorts. Qi Luo was about to go out to take a shower with his upper body on. As soon as he opened the door, he saw Dainan, who was about to knock on the door. Dainan was wearing a long skirt, which made her plump and graceful body stand out. Lin Feng first stared at her face, then quickly stared at her chest, and after some aesthetics, he said, "Come in, me and you. Discuss something. Come in together, the door is closed." Dainan wondered, "What do you want to discuss with me?" Lin Feng said, "How about taking a bath together?" Dainan raised his slender legs and kicked Lin Feng, angrily said, "What you should think about now is how to get along with the beautiful Bamboo, how to make her become your girlfriend quickly, instead of taking a bath with me." Lin Feng's head was a little bigger again, and he said with a smile, "I can't figure out this question right now. I haven't even figured out whether I and the beautiful Bamboo are really suitable. Maybe, take a shower with me, I'll figure it out." Dainan said to Lin Feng before, "As long as you don't do that with me, you can do whatever you want, and it's fine to take a shower together." Dainan doesn't mind that Lin Feng sees her whole body, even if Lin Feng stares at her wet place with an aesthetic eye, it's fine, but he just can't rush into her body to do that. Now that Lin Feng Zhen asked to take a bath together, Dainan was very embarrassed. When they took a bath together, they both stripped naked, and they would inevitably touch and kiss in the water curtain. It's nothing, but what if Lin Feng offered to rub her back? Lin Feng's uprightness is likely to rush into her body in the posture of hitting a cow across the mountain while rubbing her back. At that time, even if she shouted angrily and asked Lin Feng to get out immediately, I am afraid this kid will continue to exercise. After being stunned violently, the relationship between her and Lin Feng was different from before. Thinking of the truth, the sweat on Dainan's forehead came out. "If you want to take a bath, go alone. If you don't want to, just sit here and chat with me. I just wanted to knock on your door and come over to chat with you. Then wait for me for a while, I'll take a cold shower, and then I'll chat with you." Lin Feng walked out with the things for the bath. Looking at Lin Feng's straight and strong back, Dainan pursed his lips and smiled, and his slender legs quickly trembled. Chunbo fluttered in the long skirt. Chunbo fluttered outside the long skirt. Lin Feng took a cold shower, but when he appeared wet in front of Dainan, his body was still very tall and straight. It is estimated that Dainan had noticed the outline of the shorts. Dainan said in his heart, "Didn't your kid cool down just now? But you are still hard, and it is estimated that you will be very stimulated when watching a movie with the beautiful Bamboo." Lin Feng sat beside Dainan, picked up a cigarette, and handed the lighter to Dainan. "Light it for me." Dainan smiled and said, "No problem, Mr. Lin, the little girl will light a cigarette for you." This lighter was given to Lin Feng by Dainan. It was very high-end and tasteful. At this time, using this lighter to light Lin Feng's cigarette made Dainan's heart very moist. Lin Feng exhaled a strong breath of smoke and smiled helplessly. "I ran into trouble when I went to the movies with the beautiful Bamboo." "No way. What trouble did you encounter?" Dainan was not surprised. Lin Feng told her what happened in the anime game city, and also mentioned that the two people he beat were the subordinates of Menfei Yang disco beauty owner Black Rose. Dinan's face was obviously not as relaxed as before. Now, she used to be the lead dancer in the Menfei Yang disco. She knew how powerful and ruthless Black Rose was. It's not fun to offend Black Rose, but you offended her again, Lin Feng. It's not the first time you offended Black Rose. I know, I'm also very depressed. Why is it okay for others to take girls to the movies, but it's okay for me to take girls to the movies, Lin Feng said. Dinan smiled bitterly. It seems like a very strange question, but it is not surprising at all when you think about it. She said, didn't you tell me before? Many evil thoughts are generated in an instant, such as being stimulated by some kind of strong stimulus. It is estimated that because the green bamboo is so beautiful, it stimulated the two guys, so the two of them are very close. I want to eat King Zhu's tofu. Even if I see a man beside King Zhu, I really want to clean up that man first and then eat King Zhu's tofu, but unfortunately, they are wrong. You are a kung fu master, continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 270. Dinan's analysis is already in place, and Lin Feng fully agrees. At that time, the two dogs didn't really see that he was a kung fu master. Even so, many game players in the anime game city didn't think he knew kung fu at first. He was expected to be beaten. Then, his kung fu strength shocked the audience, and even a girl had the idea of opening a room with him, but when Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu walked out of the cinema, the girl who wanted to open a room with him and enjoy the excitement was nowhere to be seen. Even if the girl really made such a request in front of him, he would still refuse. Even if Tian Qingzu was not watching, he would still refuse. The room is not impossible to open, but it depends on the mood. Lin Feng said with a smile, when I think about it, my performance this time is quite fierce. Qingzu thinks that I am very strong, and the people who see me also think that I am strong. In fact, even I think I am very strong, but the problem is, tomorrow go see Black Rose, what will she do to me? Dinan sighed lightly, you ask me, who am I going to ask? I will only know after I meet Hey Rose tomorrow. Maybe she will give you face, but if it doesn't matter, maybe she will tie you up and smoke you, but one thing is for sure, Black Rose will not kill you for such a trivial matter. Lin Feng sneered, one thing is for sure, if Black Rose really wants my life, I will definitely kill her first, kill her, and I will be the prison tyrant. The arrogance that Lin Feng showed at this time made Dinan's heart tremble. She said anxiously, Lin Feng, you can't be impulsive, you think it's fun to be a prison tyrant, you better write your novels, and be a good prisoner. Be your boss. Although this small shop is small and the money it can make every day is very limited, we are both bosses. Lin Feng's heart was confused, but he laughed. Staring at Dinan's chest a little greedily. Have you noticed, I need inspiration. Want to eat my tofu again, Dinan said. I really want to eat. Then give it to you. Dinan wanted Lin Feng to focus on Tian Qingzu, but at this moment, Lin Feng wanted to eat her tofu again. At the same time, she was also thinking, if Tian Qingzu was standing in front of her. Will Lin Feng have this urge? Maybe, but he shouldn't make such excessive demands on Tian Qingzu easily. Dinan was still struggling. Lin Feng was already talking about her long dress, and Dinan immediately shouted, oh, you bastard, just touch it from the neckline, what are you doing? Lin Feng kissed Dinan's plump breasts, and Lin Feng touched Dinan's soft and moist skin. Ambiguous to the extreme. In addition to that kind of thing, Lin Feng just did everything related to the ambiguity with Dainan. Dainan gasped for a long time and said coldly, "Your hands are really evil. You have been playing with them for so long just now. Are you not afraid of hurting me? Not afraid. We are so good, you don't feel bad for me? Be careful that I won't even let you touch me in the future. I believe you will let me touch it in the future, because we have a good relationship. What I want to know now is when you will let me," stunned Lin Feng said. "Don't think about staggering on me. If you have the ability, you will stumble upon the beautiful beauty bamboo of Beijing Normal University. In this way, you have not only stumbled on the #1 beautiful teacher of Beijing Normal University, but also stumbled on it. Beautiful schoolgirl. You are very powerful," Dainan said. "Wei martial arts? Or a mighty one?" Lin Feng was still very anxious, because he still couldn't figure out whether he should continue with Tian Qingzhu. "Dainan, have you ever thought about a very serious problem? If this happens, it will be terrifying." "What's the situation?" "If Qingzhu becomes my girlfriend, if I have had that kind of thing with her, I even make her belly bigger, but she finally decides to go back to Qiushan town, Shu province, what do you want me to do?" "What should she do?" Lin Feng said. Dainan was also anxious. It would be terrifying if this actually happened. It is equivalent to harming the beautiful bamboo. More than 10 minutes later, Lin Feng did not hear Dainan's reply, and he said again, "Why didn't you say anything?" Dainan said, When you are with her, you can wear a condom. If you feel that wearing a condom is not enough, you can also use Biun medicine, both before and after." This is obviously not what Lin Feng wants to hear. He said, "You are a genius." Dainan said, "You want to be with her again, but you don't want her belly to get bigger. What else can you do?" Lin Feng said, "Who told you that I really want to be with Qingzhu? In fact, my original intention is to be an ordinary friend with her, to appreciate her beauty but not to blaspheme her beauty." Dainan said, "If Qingzhu is not your girlfriend, then 80% of her will return to Qiushan town in Shu province after graduation." Lin Feng said, "If she really wants to go back, then go back. People are pursuing beauty, but this life is actually very simple. No matter where she lives, it is a lifetime." Both became silent. Unconsciously more than half an hour passed. Dainan said, "This is too cruel to Qingzhu." Lin Feng said, "Let it develop naturally." Dainan said, "I can only go with the flow, I went out first." She went out quickly, but her scent was still there. Lin Feng recalled the taste of kissing and stroking Dainan for a while, and then began to code. It was past midnight, but Lin Feng still planned to write 5,000 words before going to bed, otherwise he would feel like he was wasting time in bed. While coding, Lin Feng is also thinking, what will happen after seeing Black Rose tomorrow morning? Will there be bloodshed? His thoughts were a little chaotic, and Lin Feng's typing speed was not very fast. It was already 2 o'clock in the morning after 5,000 words. Lin Feng lay on the bed, thinking about it for almost an hour before falling asleep. He was awakened by Dainan's footsteps. He didn't lock the door before going to bed. Dainan bought it and came back early, and came in without knocking on the door. Lin Feng, who only had a pair of trousers all over, sat up, looked at Dainan sleepily, and said with a smile, "You are good to me, and you brought me breakfast back in person." Dainan said, "We are good friends. This is necessary." She said in her heart, "You always say that I treat you well, but I always feel that you treat me better than I treat you." When Lin Feng went to wash, Dainan was not in a hurry to go to the store, she was waiting for Lin Feng to come back. Lin Feng walked in, grabbed a small steamed bun and put it in his mouth, and said with a smile, "Why don't you go to the store? Do you have something to say to me?" Dainan said, "I'm really worried about you going to see Hey Rose alone. Why don't I go with you?" Lin Feng said, "Don't go, I'm going alone, maybe there's nothing wrong, but if you go with me, it will make Black Rose feel uncomfortable. Then something really happened. Dinan said, yes, then I won't go. Lin Feng said, I know you really want to face me, but you really can't go, just wait for me with peace of mind, I will come back safely. Dinan said. Why don't you say hello to Li Xingguo first? Lin Feng said, that kid has been very annoying recently. His father doesn't agree with him and Zhao Fei getting the certificate. He is trying to find a way, so I won't bother him anymore. Lin Feng hadn't told Dinan about this situation before, but now that Dinan knew about it, he was a little worried about Zhao Fei. Dinan sighed, Zhao Fei and Li Xingguo have been together for a while. This time Li Xingguo is sincere, and Zhao Fei is also sincere. If the two of them fail to find each other in the end, it will be too tragic. Lin Feng said, it depends on the will of God. If Xingguo asks me to help, I will definitely help. I also hope that he and Zhao Fei can do it. But in this case, I don't know how I can help. Dinan said, doesn't Li Xingguo's father Li Yang admire you very much? You can talk to Li Yang, it may be of great help. Lin Feng smiled helplessly, your thinking is a bit naive. If I talk to Li Yang about Kung Fu, maybe he is very interested. If I talk to him about this, he will be very impatient, and maybe he will kick me out. Lin Feng's cell phone rang, and it turned out to be the Black Rose. Lin Feng said, can't you wait? It's a Black Rose, Dinan said anxiously. It's her, I guess I can't wait. Does she want to see you so much? She really wanted to see me, but she certainly wasn't in a hurry to make me take off her and her. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, Sister He, I was just about to find you when your call came. Lin Feng, fierce. You made Sister He wait so anxious. He Rose's intoxicated voice came over, like a dissatisfied woman talking to her lover. Lin Feng said in his heart, worry about your sister, you evil woman. He said, Sister He, it seems that you can't wait to fix me. Black Rose's tone was not as intoxicated as before, and even a little cold, no matter what reason you hit me for, you must give me an explanation. Since the two of them are my subordinates, it is necessary for me to seek justice for them, otherwise it will spread, and people outside will say that I, Black Rose, are not interesting to my opponents. Lin Feng said, what do you want? Black Rose said, you will know what I want when you come here. Lin Feng said, I will be there in an hour. Black Rose said leisurely, the speed is too slow, my mood is changing at any time, the slower your speed is, the worse my mood is. Dinan went to the store and sat on the chair beside the cashier, but her heart was all on Lin Feng. She kept repeating in her heart, Lin Feng, you must be okay, Lin Feng, you must come back safely. When Lin Feng arrived outside the Menfei Yang disco, he not only saw Black Rose, but also Baiman Bingchen Sirius. At the same time, there were more than 20 people behind them. The battle is huge. Many people are staring at him, wanting to make him pay a heavy price. He has fought with Baiman Bingchen before. Both beauties are experts, but they are not his opponents. No matter what Baiman Bingchen thinks about him, he admires his kung fu. That time, Sirius was injured, so Lin Feng did not fight against Sirius, but later Sirius calmly told He Rose that even if he was in very good condition and exerted his kung fu to the extreme, he would not be Lin Feng's opponent. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 271. Black Rose said coldly, arrogant, since you are here, come with us. Arrogant. Are you arrogant? Lin Feng felt that he was low-key enough, otherwise it would not be difficult for him to set off a bigger storm with his kung fu. He is indeed not an arrogant person, but he beat Hey-Rose's subordinates. In Hey-Rose's eyes, he is already a very arrogant person. For a long time, Hey-Rose meant to win him over, but he felt that Black Rose wanted him to be a cannon fodder, so he never wanted to be friends with Black Rose. Lin Feng believes that true friends cannot just use each other, so he is very cautious when making friends. If a person approaches him just to use him, he will not easily let such a person succeed. Hey-Rose is obviously such a person, but at this moment he has a certain fantasy in his heart, hoping that Hey-Rose can treat him as a friend and give him some face and let him go. Sweet. Here you can feel a sense of luxury, but also a sense of intoxication, because this is a place carefully carved out of banknotes. Lin Feng didn't know what had happened to this luxurious suite before, otherwise many couples had been enthusiastic here, whether the ocean was flowing, whether the blood flowed like a river, but he could imagine that a storm was about to be staged in this suite. The only people who came in were Lin Feng, Hey-Rose, Baiman Bingchen Sirius, and the other followers were all outside. Black Rose asked him to sit on the sofa, but when Lin Feng sat on the soft sofa, he felt very uncomfortable. At this time, Black Rose had become the director of the current scene. He didn't know what Black Rose wanted the scene to do. She can be satisfied with what kind of plots appear if the performance goes on. Black Rose picked up a slender cigarette, Baiman grabbed a match and lit it for her. Black Rose provocatively blew a puff of smoke in Lin Feng's direction. This is how he said, "The two people you injured in the anime game city are all thugs under my command. Among them, the burly nicknamed Lazazi is a relatively capable person and is very loyal to me. I used to charge many times before. Yes. The combat power is not small, but this time you broke his 3 bones, I don't know when it will get better. You played handsome in front of beautiful women and earned a lot of face, but your black sister is me. The loss is very heavy." Lin Feng said, "Sister Hey, I didn't know that the two of them were yours at the time." Black Rose said, "If you knew at the time that they were my people, would you still fight? Would you watch them molest the beautiful bamboo of Beijing Normal University?" It's not surprising that Hey-Rose knew that the girl next to Lin Feng was the beautiful Zhu. She has always been a well-informed person. She understands even more that since Lin Feng and the beautiful Zhu watched a movie together, it means that the relationship between the two of them is not ordinary. Lin Feng said, "Even if I know it's yours, I won't let the two of them molest King Zhu." Black Rose said, "That is to say, it's time to fight." Lin Feng said, "Yes. You are so manly and brave." Black Rose was about to be mad with anger, her face was ashen. Lin Feng obviously trampled on her majesty, and this was not the first time. Although the spicy stubble who made Lin Feng seriously injured was not the backbone of Hey-Rose's subordinates. But Black Rose still values this man with a talent for hitting people. Before, Lazazi offended a gang because of gambling money and loan sharks. The boss of the gang sent someone to arrest him. He injured a lot of people with his good skills and escaped several times. Black Rose understood and found that this man was really good at fighting, so he rescued him when he was desperate. Black Rose's power and face are much stronger than that of the boss of the loan shark gang. When she came forward, the old nature wanted to give face, and in the end, she only received the principal of 800,000, and she didn't even want the interest. "I will not continue to repair the hot stubble anymore." At that time, there was no more 800,000 yuan in the hot stubble, not even 800 yuan. Hey-Rose paid the 800,000 yuan for him, which made him grateful and said on the spot, "Sister Hey, my life will be yours in the future. If you let me go to the mountain of knives, then I will go to the mountain of knives. If you let me go to the sea of fire, then I will go to the sea of fire. If you let me drink urine, then I will drink urine." Black Rose was overjoyed, because she spent 800,000 yuan to buy a very high-quality cannon fodder. At the same time, she is also thinking, is this spicy stubble really sincere? At the critical moment, will he change his appearance to resist her? Black Rose sneered at that time and said, Spicy Stubble, are you too full of words, you bastard? Spicy Stubble said, Sister Hay, what I said just now is not an exaggeration at all. If you let me die now, I will kill myself immediately. There is no problem in solving it with a knife or a gun. As soon as Black Rose heard it, the words that this hot stubble said were getting more and more full. It made her more determined to experiment. She would definitely not let Lazy really commit suicide, otherwise it would be equivalent to her spending 800,000 to buy a corpse. Hey, Rose is worthy of being a ruthless person. She went to the bathroom, urinated in a small iron basin, then brought it out, let Spicy Stubble smell it, and asked him, Is it urine? Spicy Stubble said, It seems that it is really urine. Black Rose said, It's not like, it's true, I just urinated and it's still hot, if you drink it in front of me, I'll be your boss. Spicy Stubble was very excited. In front of Black Rose, he drank all the urine in the small iron basin. He drank it gurgling, which was more exciting than drinking alcohol. After drinking, he felt that Black Rose's urine tasted really good. Black Rose was overjoyed, and said in her heart, This cannon fodder is limitless and has the demeanor of a dead man. If possible, gradually develop him into a backbone. But now, before the Black Rose had time to develop the Spicy Stubble into a backbone, the Spicy Stubble was beaten to death by Lin Feng. I wonder if after recovering from the injury, it will break out as fiercely as before. It can be seen that the Black Rose at this moment really hates Lin Feng. The smell of gunpowder around was getting stronger and stronger. Hey, Rose stood up, walked in front of Lin Feng for a moment, and instantly pulled out the gun, opened the insurance to withstand Lin Feng's head. As long as my finger moves a little, it will blow your head, and then you will disappear from the world as a lowercase writer. Your novel will be permanently discontinued, and your readers will be very confused. Where did you go? Why don't you code? Don't think I'll be involved in a murder case because of this, I'll handle it cleanly. Lin Feng was very scared, worried that he would finish playing, and that his novel would be broken, but at this point, even if he was afraid, it was useless, he had to fight with Black Rose. If he softened immediately, not only would Black Rose not let him go, but he would despise him, and then use more cruel means to repair him. Lin Feng said, I often walk by the river without wet shoes. Maybe you have not been caught by the relevant departments when you murdered before, but there is no guarantee that if you kill me, I will not be caught. At least a few people know that I am here with you. If I disappear like this, they will report the case, the relevant departments will find you, and by the way, they may turn out the case you committed before. At that time, you, the beautiful hero, will also disappear. You can survive until today. It's not easy, it's very rich, and it's very prestigious in your circle. Every day, you can eat and drink spicy food, play exciting games, and live an intoxicating life that ordinary people can't imagine. Do you want to lose all this because of repairing me? Lin Feng was also saying in his heart, You ruthless female goblin, if you catch my weakness, then I will catch your weakness, and in the end whoever catches who is capable. Black Rose laughed wildly, and even Baiman Bing Chen Sirius laughed, and the atmosphere was a bit subtle. They didn't expect that in such an embarrassing situation, Lin Feng said this. In their opinion, what Lin Feng said just now was a little cruel and a little cute, and even a little bit like courting death. Black Rose's slender legs wrapped in tight pants trembled slightly and said with a smile, You all heard it? How hard is this kid? I put a gun on his head. What he said was not if you beg for mercy, it's these. He actually threatened me. Baiman Bing Chen Sirius's laughter stopped, but he didn't express any opinion on this. Baiman seemed to want to say something, but he never said anything. Hey, Rose slapped Lin Feng on the forehead twice with the body of the gun, and sneered, How do you know that I have committed murders before? If I told you that I had never killed anyone before, Would you believe it? Lin Feng's forehead hurt a little. At the same time, he was more worried that the gun would go off with Black Rose's movements. God knows where the bullets would hit, he said. He didn't believe it. Black Rose said, "Is it because you don't believe me, that I have really killed someone?" She was obviously out of breath, her slender legs were raised, and it was a spinning kick against Lin Feng's face, and Lin Feng avoided it. Black Rose kicked Lin Feng with a few legs again. Lin Feng avoided 3 feet and blocked 2 feet with his arms. At this time, he did not stand up, was still sitting on the sofa, and at the same time I didn't plan to take the initiative. If he fights with He Rose and Bai Man Bing Chen and Sirius also follow, even if he wins, the problem will be more complicated, not to mention that it is impossible for him to not be injured at all against several masters at the same time. The area of the suite is not too small. It can be used for one-to-many fights, so it seems a little small. If he surrounds several masters in a corner at the same time, he may be seriously injured if he can't use it. Okay, you are fast enough. Black Rose's slender legs failed to bring any impact to Lin Feng, and the gun in her hand turned out to be smashed towards Lin Feng's head. The gun was safe, and He Rose's fingers were pressed against the trigger. She waved her arms so violently that the gun could go off at any time. Maybe Black Rose didn't intend to shoot him, but if the gun went off and killed him unintentionally, all Black Rose had to do was to deal with his body and try to hide it. It's so sad. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.